It's an honor to have Andy and Jane ask us to do this call and do some training with you guys um, this week with the Alliance family. Last week we did a call on recruiting and some of the stuff on recruiting sides, and I shared a little bit about what I did and stuff. But I wanted to pick out a couple guys that are like top performers, top recruiters in the country out there, and figuring out what they're doing differently and kind of what they're doing in that sense. So I've invited three of my buddies on today. Kelly's already on. So Kelly is currently leading the contest that Andy has where they fly on his jet from Texas. So she is currently number one recruiter in all of Texas. So if that contest was to end today, Kelly gets a fly on Andy's jet. It's a family reunion. It doesn't end today, though, Kelly. That's the bad part. So you got to keep going. But it's always good to have a lead. You know what I mean? You'll start getting people saying, hey, I'm going to catch up. I'm going to come back. Watch out for me. Here I come. And I was like, well, thanks for the head start, So, you got the head start on everybody else in Texas. Another one of my good buddies, Will's just jumped on with us. Will is currently he's up in Ohio, so he Will, just like me, doesn't get to participate in the California and the Texas contest. But Will currently in the contest that we do have going on for recruiting across the country currently has 19 recruits and is in the top 10. I think he's actually listed as 8th currently in recruiting in the entire country of the entire alliance for a $10,000 cash grab contest going on. And Will's one of those guys that I've known Will for a while now. I remember when you came down here to Jacksonville and hung out for a day. I think that was the first time we really officially met. But just been tearing it up the last couple months, getting out there and recruiting and stuff. So I wanted to hear a little bit about what Will's doing, what he's changed, what he's doing now and stuff. And then I got my good buddy Brandon out in California that's on there. And Brandon's currently he's number 2 on the West Coast trip, but still would be on if the contest was to end today, he would be on the plane with Kelly as well. And Ashley, I'm not sure if Brandon, if you're entering your camera or not, I don't know if Ashley's there with you or not, but I know Brandon and Ashley are looking forward to flying with on Andy's jet. So I think they plan on continuing to win that contest and finish out there. So fired up to talk to you guys today and really just find out kind of some of the things that you guys have been doing inside your business to find some agents. I personally think this time, especially with what's going on in the world with the craziness of the virus and all that kind of stuff, it's the best time that I can even remember in the 13 years I've been in this business to where you can find top-notch talent looking for something to do. It's one of those things I've read in a couple books and books of hiring people and stuff. Usually when you're hiring from ads and things, you're hiring the bottom 20% of the workforce. And so often we're trying to find that diamond in the rough doing that. Right now, 90% of the workforce is sitting on their couch. So it's easier to find those diamonds in the rough and find those people looking to do something. They're going nuts. They're going crazy, sitting there, wanting to find something to do differently, want to find something they can control what they're doing. And I just feel it's a blessing that we're in a system, not only that Andy and Jane have put out there, but an industry that we're able to continue working now. Because there's so many people that I do, friends of mine that I know that are actually out of work or can't do whatever they're forced not to. And we're blessed enough to where we can continue providing for our families, doing what we need to do and stuff. So with that, guys, I'm going to kick it over to you guys. I'll kind of go through each one of you. We'll kind of keep it kind of interactive and jumping in and talking and stuff. But hey, Will, we'll start with you, bud. Could you just real quick give everyone a formal introduction to who you are? I know you're a rising superstar in this Alliance family that we got going on. You're on a call, was it last night or yesterday? Or sometime over the weekend with Andy. So I know you're getting out there and getting there, but just blowing up and having recruits come on in your business. And I know you're a big part of Jason and Tawny Carey's organization, my good friends out there in California. And just share a little bit about yourself and kind of, if you want to go right into what you've been doing lately on the recruiting side to actually just to really have that momentum building inside your business, man.
Okay. Well, Andy, I appreciate you having me on the call. My name is Will Perry. I'm up in Dayton, Ohio, and been with the company a little over 2 years now. Jason and Tawny Carey's organization out of the West Coast And I like to say that are east of the Mississippi River. And yeah, it was awesome. Like you mentioned, opportunity to meet you. I was down in Jacksonville about a year ago, hanging out with Brent Swindell, kind of seeing what he was doing. And one that for me is as very intriguing with yourself, Andy, was we completed our portion of like what we do at 7 p.m. and here you came into the office at 8 p.m. getting ready for a 9 p.m. call. Stuck into the office with you and kind of got to meet you, and it was funny because I think you thought that I was on your team, so you were unleashing a lot of the secrets, and had the opportunity to watch you. And it's just been great. I mean, I love to tap on kind of what you're saying. I've been in business. I've owned a business for over 12 years, not with the Alliance on my own. And one of the things is in 2008, I was able to build my business, and I started to make I ever made in my life during the recession. So similar to what you're speaking of now. You know, we find ourselves in a period where people need an opportunity more than ever, and people need income more than, and that's one thing that I saw over the past month and a half with everybody getting laid off, everybody becoming unemployed, and the unemployment rate just skyrocketing through the ceiling. You know, in 08, 09, when other companies, I took advantage of it, was able to build a business during that time. So that's kind of what I've noticed now. And, you know, I'm coming off of a health situation, and I've just tried all of the leadership like yourself, Andy, as close as possible. I mean, last year you put in members over 250 agents in with, and I saw that report, and I kind of started to pay more attention to what you were doing as a leader with your organization, see what your team is doing with Brant, Olga and Jason, Terry and Tia, Lil Body. I mean, and you guys are just exploding. So, you know, leadership and focus is huge right now. I've been on the 8 steps, bigger than ever, been following Jason and time ever. But more than that, watching the ones who are just killing it like yourself. I mean, I think you've put 75 new agents this year alone. So I think it was on February, I think like February 18th, I was coming out of this health situation and you did a call. It's episode number 206, and it was Build the Fire Within. And I took down some great pointers from that call that you did February, like mid-February, and coming out of the health situation, it gave me a different perspective moving forward that I just needed to double down and work. You know, when you get to associate with people like Brandon Bill, Andy Riddle, I mean, what you figure out is that just being outworked. So I just decided that I was going to double down and start to put the work in and you know, follow more of your tips, Riddle.
Hey, Will, I just sent you a text. Check it out. But I got some questions for you. I'm going to have you call in, though, just because it is breaking up a little bit. But I got some questions for you from the stuff once you do. Okay, bud? I could hear you. It's just breaking up a little bit. So, hey, Kelly.
Okay.
Kelly, you there?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Hey, can you kind of give a little bit of a background, just like Will just did, and kind of what you've been doing?
Yeah, absolutely. First, Andy, thank you so much for allowing me to be on this call with you today. I don't take this lightly. I know it's a national call, and Andy's trusted you, and you've trusted myself, Brandon, and Will to come to you and really show insight on who we are and kind of what we're doing today. So I appreciate that very much. Like he said, my name's Kelly Haney. I am direct to the awesome and wonderful Paul and Tamara Roberts out of Louisville, Texas. I am live and in person in my office in San Antonio. Nothing, this COVID is not stopping us. We're got groups of no more than 10, at least in one room, up here and dialing and having fun and recruiting. And I came to the Alliance 4 awesome years ago. I can't believe it's been 4 years. Prior to this, I was actually doing mortgages. So all of you know what happened in '08, right? Same kind of thing that's happening right now. And it was very scary. It was a scary moment in my life to have to pivot and try to do something different. And knowing that we're in the situation we're in right now, like Andy was just talking about, where we have 90% of the workforce sitting at home and we're not looking for that 20%. And we're really able to grow our business in a market that most people are shutting down. Guys, there's insurance companies shutting down. And we're still profiting and we're doing awesome and just growing and building. I remember 4 years ago when I came and I saw the opportunity and went to my first meeting, but then my first national event, which we've got coming up. I know, Brandon, I'm excited to fly on the plane with you because I will be on that plane. Nobody's coming. Andy, I know people tell you the same thing. I'm coming for you. I'm like, thanks for the head start. So I like that. But I will be on that plane. Nothing's stopping us from family reunion. I'm excited. And I'm just excited because the people I'm talking to right now, Andy, are just fired up. They're excited, they're grateful, they're thankful because they can do something. They're homeschooling their kids, but yet they can still do this business at night. They're able to see a culture of us doing things through Zoom. I've got a lot of agents that are calling me saying, hey, Kelly, I've got people that need insurance, but I'm not sure how to help them. I'm like, hey, let's all jump on a Zoom call. Let's figure it out and we'll walk through it together, helping them that way. Really, I think it's been hard for me, I will tell you, to transition, to be absolutely honest. My schedule was so tight as far as how I did everything with recruiting and selling, because I do both. Monday through Wednesday was really my recruiting. Thursday was dialing, Friday, Saturday was running business. That's completely changed now. So I've had to pivot very quickly on figuring out, when do I recruit and when do I dial? If it wasn't for this company and for our amazing leaders and for my amazing mentors like Paul in my life and Tim Goad and Andy Albright, I think I would have been like other people and stopped. And I think some people are maybe feeling that way. And I want you to know that you don't need to. We can figure it out. We'll help you with schedules. It's taking some adjustment for me because I don't think I've been home this much in the last 3 years of this business. I'm used to being out and going and seeing my agents and going and helping them and building cities. So this has been different for me, but I'm just excited to be here and I'm fired up that Andy's built an amazing company that no matter what's going on, great market or low market, we're able to help people.
Awesome. So, hey, could you share a little bit? I know you shared your schedule, kind of what you were doing before. So the pivots that you made now that with your schedule and stuff, could you share a little bit of what you did pivot and kind of what you're doing and in that aspect?
Yeah, absolutely. So before I was doing the Monday through Wednesdays, having everything set on my schedule and calling people and cold calling, doing the QAs, which I learned from you when we were at Mackinac Island. So I will tell people that association is key. Get around the people that you want to look up to and arise to, because they're going to tell you what they're doing. I'm not going to keep secrets from you. We all want, everybody to win here. So now what I'm doing is Mondays are my recruiting, Tuesdays dialing, Wednesdays recruiting, Thursdays dialing, Fridays recruiting, Saturday half day recruiting, half day running, and then I'm taking my Sunday. What I do on Sunday though is I'm still on the phone. I still have my team call on Sunday nights. I'm still texting people, still following up, but I'm really focused on that every other day schedule for me. And since we're doing dials from here, I can focus on, okay, I'm here at 8 o'clock, start dialing for recruiting at 8:30 or dialing for for home calls at 8:30. So I'm really split it 50-50 because I need to do both. Where before I could focus all my time on the weekends and focus those 12, 24 hours into those timeframes. Now what we could do in 2 days, we're having to do over a span of 4 or 5 days with actually selling. But what I'm doing is when I'm selling, I'm having my team on Zoom calls with me. So they're listening. I'm doing the same thing with recruiting. I've got my team, they've got a Zoom link, they can dial in, they listen to me dial, whether it's recruiting or appointments. And it's really helping because there's so many people at a distance right now that we're not able to touch. And we don't want to lose them because they were excited. We want to show them that, hey, we're still going.
That's awesome. I remember like starting to do the Zoom call stuff, and that's awesome how you're doing that with showing them how to sell and recruit. I remember I actually was sitting in Fitz's office one day and watching him do what he does throughout the day, and he was doing everything over Zoom conference calls, and I was like, man, that's the coolest thing in the world. I didn't even know that thing existed. He's like, yeah, Chris Long told me about it. So, and Chris Long's office is like 50 feet down the hall, and I had to fly to Dallas to figure out about it. So, I mean, it's like one of those things that it gets shared all over and share the secrets and share what we do, and kind of a crazy thing. It's like I had to go to Dallas to figure out something I could have walked down the hall and got. Probably wouldn't have listened to Chris anyways. I would have thought it's one of his crazy IT things or something, but but yeah, it's awesome. And doing those things where you're saying with helping your guys get going, it's probably, have you seen a difference with the sales inside your organization faster and with the people getting up and recruiting since they're seeing you go out there and do it, or?
Yes. So I've seen our issue paid and our width has gone up. We're up 25%. The recruiting numbers are up. Now people are realizing that they can do it. It's not just some secret, oh, Kelly's the only one. I had a time period where I'm like, guys, come on, you all can do this. But now that they see the work that goes into it, it's not just snap a finger and I get a new recruit. There's a lot of work that goes into it. But now they're seeing the process, they're seeing it firsthand. Even though they went through it, right? Because it's the same process, they are now seeing it on the backside. It's almost like seeing behind the curtain. And they feel like, okay, I can do this. It's not that hard. It's just the step 2, work, right? We've got to actually put in the time, put in the hours. It's doing this, you know, it's tedious, it's mundane, but it's fun. You get to talk to awesome people all day long.
Yeah, that's awesome. We have on one of our TVs the ad that talks about your recruiting is this right here on your phone. That's how you recruit, is just dialing the phone. So it's awesome. It's one of those things that's, the thing I love about this business is, and Andy's talked a lot about it lately, is focus on the activities, not the results. And the more activity, I really think it's been my secret inside this business is that philosophy is I'm not that good, but thank God is if you put in a lot of activity, it makes you look that way. You know, I'm kind of like the Jameis Winston of the NFL quarterbacks. Like I threw 30 interceptions, but in this business, you only see the 30 touchdowns I threw. You know what I mean? No one else sees those 30 interceptions. So I look like Tom Brady, even though I'm more like Jameis Winston, you know? But it's in that aspects where they only see the touchdowns in this business. So I just keep doing, I don't care if I throw a bunch of interceptions. It's the touchdowns they're counting, you know, and it's the activity that you're doing. It's fortunate for me. That's how we're judged in this business. Is off the.
I love it. I love
yeah.
it. I love the fact that Andy judges us not on the interceptions because Lord help me if that was the case.
Oh gosh. So, well, I'm going to come back to you, Kelly. So don't go anywhere. Okay. So I'm going to kick it over now to my buddy Brandon. Brandon, you there, bud?
Yes, sir. Andy, can you hear me loud and clear, man?
I can hear you. Perfect.
Awesome. How you doing?
Awesome, bro. Hey, same thing as Will as Kelly. Just kind of share a little bit about yourself. And I know you've been a recruiter for a long time since you've been here and stuff, but lately being number 2 out in California and getting on that jet and doing a lot of great stuff. Could you share a little bit of kind of what you guys have done and if you've changed anything that you've done in the time as well?
Yeah. First, thanks for having me, man. Like when you texted me last night, I was like super excited. It takes a lot for me to get excited. So when you texted me last night, I was like just so fired up and thrilled. But for the people who don't know me, my name is Brandon Beal. I'm the other half of Brandon and Ashley Beal. Ashley is actually on her way to the dentist right now. The girl eats too much candy. But we're hired by the great Ed Soto, a part of Stephen and Holly Davies organization. And one thing I can say about Ed and Stephen is Ashley and I would not be who we are or won't get to where we want to go without those two great men. So I owe them everything that's coming to me in life that I know that the things that I want. In terms of what we've been doing, man, you came out to our boot camp. Stephen had a boot camp out in North Carolina back at the end of February, and you did a whole thing on recruiting. And it was one of those things where like a light bulb went off. So like you said, I've kind of been I've been recruiting for, I've been here for 2.5 years. I've been recruiting that entire time, but there's a systematic way to do things. And I think that I didn't really get it until then. I'm sure Ed and Stephen are probably kicking themselves, in the butt right now. It's like, dude, I told you this already. You know what I mean? But once you said it, like, it was like a light bulb went off. And it was one of those things where I just really didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I was recruiting, and I knew I was putting in crazy whip. But building relationships, me and Ed Soto talk about this. We actually just talked about it probably about 15 minutes ago. Building relationships is huge in recruiting. And I think that's one thing that I've been doing different in terms of getting depth. But in terms of width, man, Steven said it at our boot camp too, was invest big and buy yourself some cash flow. And when he said that, I was just like, dude, duh. You know what I mean? So like, and you mentioned this too, Andy, where people think, oh, I got overrides. Like, that's not your money, dude. Like, that's the business's money. So the minute I get an override, no matter how big or how small, I'm looking at my team, I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, who am I going to invest in? What am I going to invest in? Right? That's not my money. Like, that's the business's money, right? Because the business made me that money. So the first thing I'm doing is, okay, I have an ad here and ad here. I could probably add 2 more with the overrides that I just got this week or this month or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly looking to invest more in finding those, people that are sitting around on the couch right now who need an opportunity. So buy yourself some cash flow. That's one of the things that Ashley and I have been doing different. You also mentioned too that your goal should be to contract 10 agents a month, but understanding that it's a numbers game and understanding that just because you contracted 10 doesn't mean all 10 are going to be the next Brent Swindell, are going to be the next Evan Patzer, or the next Sarge Wilson. They're not. You're going to get 10 and you're probably going to expect 1. Okay. So that's month 1. And Andy, like to a T, and Stephen and Ed will tell you this. The minute you left, boom, I had 10 contracted agents by the end of March. Right. And I'm still trying to continue that trend now, because you mentioned if you go on that 90-day run, 10 contracted agents for the next 90 days, you should be agency manager. And that's what I'm going for, because I'll be honest with you, I've been key leader. Ashley and I have been key leader for, I don't know, man, going on a year, and it's getting tiresome. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I have to do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result. So I had to start doing something different. So I'm really trying to put in those 10 people for the next 90 days. Another thing we're doing, Andy, is chasing you. If I'm being 100% honest and transparent, I'm a competitor just like you, dude. Me and you, we've bonded and we've clicked over the last 6 months or so. And I've gotten to know you more and you've gotten to know me more, and we can crack up and joke. But at the end of the day, me and you are one of those, we're those lions, man. We're always on the hunt of trying to see who we can beat. You know what I mean? I may not beat you, but you better be damn sure. Like, I'm going to give it everything I got, dude. Blood, sweat, and tears. Like, I may not beat you, but you're going to be like, dang, dang, Brandon's right there. I need to keep my butt moving. Right. So that's one of the things I'm doing. So it's like, I'm chasing you. Jason and Tawny are chasing you, but you're chasing Andy. You know what I mean? And you're letting it be known that, there's insurance agencies and IMOs out there, man, that they think they're better than us, and they're not. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to be that crazy nut. You know what I mean? That all it takes is one crazy person to fall in line and follow that other crazy one, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do, because there's so many other people out there that think they're better than us, and they're not. You know what I mean? Like, I come from, a lot of people know this, I come from World Financial Group. I come from WFG. And I look at some of these people and I'm just like, they're not more talented. I'll never speak bad about another business or another company, but they're not as talented as we are. They're not as good as we are. They don't have the resources that we have. They don't have the lead. I can tell you 100% after being there for 10 months and making $0 in 10 months that I was there, they don't have the leadership that we have. They have this mantra, this mentality of what have you done for me lately, or what can you do for me now, as opposed to how can I help you? You're like, Brant, what do you need? Like, I work for you. Help me help you, right? Like Jerry Maguire. Ed Soto's the same way. Stephen Davis is the same way. Brandon, what do you need? What can I help you with? How can I help you get AM, NM, VP, EVP all the way on, right? So that's one of the things that I'm trying to do is compete with you, but also in aspects of competing with other companies that are out there that think they can just outright beat us because they just cannot. And lastly, the thing that I'm doing too is letting people know, asking people what they want in life. You know, what do you want, man? Do you want, I know for me personally, because I love monetary things is one of my downfalls in life. And I'm speaking with Tim Goat about it, but like, I love big homes. Like I want a 10,000 plus square foot home somewhere. You know, I want a big old Tonka truck sitting outside like Andy's G5 wagon. And I want one, you know, 0 to a 60, you know, race car in 2.2 seconds, which ain't reasonable, but whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want. I want Ashley to be able to do things and not have to worry about anything. I don't care how much it costs, right? So I'm asking people, what do you want? What do you desire? What are your dreams? I mean, look at the man who's running this thing. The man doesn't have one jet. The dude's got two. Who needs two jets? Like, seriously, who needs two jets? He does, apparently. You know what I mean? He may want to go to New York and Jay may want to go to California, and then they just split off, right? Like, what do you desire in life, man? Because it can happen here. It's not just me. It's not just Riddle. It's not Will and just Kelly Haney. Like, there's people who are doing it. You can be one of those people, but you got to be willing to meet me halfway. If you can give me some hard nose, you know, hard hat, lunch pail type work, dude, you can get whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. Think outside of the box. A lot of people don't know what they want because they don't know what's out there. So I love that Andy has these toys because it lets people know that they are attainable. Like, it's not just him. There's millions and millions and millions of people. I just read an article in Forbes that there's, I think, 116 billionaires in the United States. Like, I thought that was a really small number, but like, that's a lot of billionaires. There's money to be made in the financial services industry. And I just want us to get our hands on some of it. So I guess selling the dream is the other thing, Andy. I mean, so that's what Ashley and I have been doing. You set a good pace. Diane, Fitz, Steven, you know, Katz, everybody, all you guys make it possible. You guys show us what's possible. And I really do thank y'all for that.
Awesome, man. Currently, if the contest was to end today, you'd win $1,000 and you could go reinvest that or put it towards a car, man.
See, I don't know if you're talking junk or if you're really giving me a compliment. So I'm going to say you're talking junk. I'm 50-50.
Hey, there's a lot of people not going to win $1,000 in this contest.
Yeah.
I'm one of them that's not going to win $1,000 either, but
yeah. I'll text you about that in a minute.
Hey, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back.
All right, buddy.
Hey, Will, can we hear you? Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I can hear you good now, man.
Okay.
So could you share a little bit? I don't know how much you heard of theirs because I know we're trying to figure this out, but kind of like what I got the part where you talked about listen to that one call and building the fire within after your health issues and stuff. What are some of the things that, like, is this, like, Brandon just shared some great stuff. It's kind of like I pulled my coin out. It's what do you want and how do you get it? And he was talking about stuff he wants. And I don't want to know what Tim Goat's telling him not to like material stuff because Tim's always told me to like material stuff. So I was like, good God. So, but is there something that really like sparked you to get going and bringing in more people, and kind of what are some of the ways that you're finding people to get out there and talk to talk, share the business and find people to come aboard your business?
Well, I love what Kelly and Brandon are speaking about because it lines up with everything that I'm trying to do right now. You know, one of the things that kind of sparked that fire to motivate me to recruit more is just following Jason and Tiny Carey a little bit closer. One of the things that they continue to do is, you know, continue to show us your numbers. And they're like, hey, Riddle is smoking us. You know, when are we going to catch this guy? So that's one of the things that we focused on as an organization, is just trying to keep up with you and set the pace. And I mean, you've set a ridiculous pace. And Brandon said it excellent in the aspect that you're chasing Andy Albright. And I know that if you're chasing Andy Albright and Jason and Tiny are chasing you and I'm chasing them, then we're all lined up in congruency with what's going on. But Jason and Tiny have done a great job for me and my group, just making sure that we're laser beam focused on what we want. Kind of like Brandon said, I just started to aggressively go after what I want. And when I came on board with the Alliance, when I went to my first opportunity meeting, I saw the opportunity. I didn't see the opportunity to come in and work a job. That never really did it for me. I personally wanted to come in, build a massive business, and, be like the leadership of the company. And not only that, but I saw the opportunity to bring people in and be a mentor to them as well. So we started to just go after it just a little bit harder, looking for more people like us. And one thing that I tapped into is, like Brandon said and Kelly said, just not stop looking. I'm really trying to find the people that are like us in this organization, people that are aggressive, people that are hungry, people that want more in life, and then slowing down and one-on-one building more of a relationship with them and just asking them what are they looking for, because that's what I'm going to help them get. And then doing more coaching in groups, kind of like Kelly mentioned, and kind of like I saw you do when I was down in Jacksonville, doing more Zoom calls. If I'm dialing, getting people on the Zoom and letting them listen to me dial, kind of doing a lot more coaching and having Q&A sessions with my team, saying, hey, I need you to be on this call and ask good questions because somebody out there is wondering the same thing that you're wondering. So I think, again, just coaching in groups and then building relationships one-on-one and slowing down and putting more focus on finding great people.
So, Will, you said in there that Jason and Tony were helping you stay laser focused towards what you want. And it's basically what you saw at your first opportunity meeting, what you wanted in this business and keeping you focused on that. What are some of the tricks that they're doing, talking to you, or what are some of the things they say to you to keep you laser focused for that stuff that has helped you? Do you know how they're tricking you to do that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, the number one trick is saying Riddle is smoking you. And I'm the same. I'm so aggressive in nature. And I mean, Tani, like the fire that Tani comes off with, she's like, Riddle is putting it down and you're either going to keep up or get left behind. One of the things is, like Kelly kind of mentioned, getting my schedule better, because while I recruited, I still had to pay the bills coming into this. So I was doing a lot of production. Last year, I was more production based, and Connie and Jason said, hey, like at some point you've got to switch the flow and you've got to put recruiting just as much as production in your business. And they started to tell me a little bit more on how I can get my schedule down. So now, the fact that we don't have to be in the field running as much, I've gone to a little bit stronger of a schedule where from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., I'm on the phone making dials, trying to make sales. And then 2 p.m. to midnight, I'm recruiting and building with the team. And same as Kelly, Saturdays, I'm working on recruiting, and then Sundays I spend with the family.
That's awesome, man. I would be willing to bet both Brandon and Kelly both have the same thing, where they saw the opportunity for the first time. It sparked some dream inside of them, and then it's been getting back laser focused as well, kind of what you just said there. And I think back to when I started recruiting a lot more. Like Andy's really good at keeping me focused. It sounds like Jason and Tony's doing with you. And I know when he's doing it to me, Will, and I bet when Jason and Tony are and it's like I'm sitting here, I was like, I know what you're doing, Andy, and it's working. Stop it. You know what I mean? It's like I remember it was a call I did with Andy, and Jeff Bright was in his office, and he was talking about, it was some recruiting report or something. He's like, and I was like 5th or 6th on it, and he was telling Jeff Bright how I'm okay losing to these other guys in front of me. And I'm like, I know what you're doing, Andy, and it's working. Stop. And it's the same things, and it's getting good at having someone, having great mentors like you do with Jason and Tony, and giving you the vision to stay focused and do those kind of focused stuff. And it's almost like one of those things that I don't know if you do this or not, and if you do, I would love to hear. But it's almost like for me, knowing what Andy does to spark the fire in me to get me going, I've almost started tricking myself on a daily basis to keep that going. Do you do any of that kind of stuff at all?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's just staying focused on, really wanting to be the best person I can be. And it's something that I've gotten a lot from you on Riddle. When you do your calls, you say, hey, at the end of your life, you're going to meet a guy, and who do you want to be looking at when that day comes? Do you want to be looking at somebody that you've never met, or do you want to be looking at the guy that you were meant to be? And, I trick myself every day with that mentality and mindset of, today, am I going to wake up tomorrow knowing that I put it in and went as hard as I could? Because if I can wake up in the morning knowing that yesterday I left it all on the line, then I know that there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to get where I need to be and help others get there as well.
That's awesome, man. That's one of those key things for me as I guess as an athlete and a competitor growing up, always having the mindset that to win, I had to beat somebody at something. And Andy talked, I remember where I was. It was in Cabo San Lucas. We're on a Ring of Champions trip, and we're up in his suite. And we're talking about that. And I was even saying, I think I even said, Kelly will laugh at this, but I think I was even talking about Paul, because me and Paul are such good friends. And I was like, Andy, how can I be competitive with Paul, my friend, but not – I want to beat him, but I don't want to – I don't want him to lose, and I could never grasp that. And he told me that same thing that you just said. And even when he said it, I didn't understand it. It took me quite a year or two after he said it to really grasp that. But it's one of those things is when you start chasing your individual greatness, and I think that when I look back at sports, if you look at the Tiger Woods, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, those kind of guys and Tom Brady's and stuff, they're not chasing anything except becoming the best version of themselves. And it's what it does is it really just, for me at least, Will, and I don't know for you, but it's one of those things that it took the limitation off. Like if I got close to as good as Andy at recruiting, I would have been okay. You know what I mean? Or when Andy said that one day he's okay losing to Fitz, Diane Lampy, Paul Roberts, these people on a report because they've been around longer. Like, I think I was actually truly justifying that even though I did want to beat them, I internally truly justified why it was okay that they did beat me. And the second I realized I wasn't living up to my potential and what I could do, it changed completely almost everything inside my life and the way I look at stuff. It's becoming the best version of me. And in the same time as you can help all your friends and your buddies become the best version of you. And in return, that the rising tide raises all ships. And dude, I'm just so proud of you with the stuff you're saying. I'm fired up. I mean, you're the completely different guy than when you were here 2 years ago down in the office. But I mean, just that mentality is I just know that mentality you just said, what it's going to do for you and your family. But the Alliance family, to have another warrior like that, thinking that way inside our system and inside of what we put together, having a guy that wants to fight that way is exactly what we're always looking for. Dude, and I'm so proud of you, and I love it, man. I love it. Awesome job. Hey, Kelly.
Thank you.
Same thing for you, girl. Now you got to file a will.
Well, that's just not nice.
So, hey, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but one of the things he said that really just was when he saw the opportunity. I don't know if it just sparked in my mind, but the thing that fired me up was I've always, like, the first time I saw the opportunity, not the sales aspects. I felt the reason I wanted to do this business was because of that opportunity. And I've come unfocused, focused, back and forth different times in the 13 years I've been here, and lose focus on that. Did you see it as fast as Will, like on the first time you saw it, or were you different than that?
For me, Andy, I think the very first time I saw the opportunity, I was in a situation where I was working in a car dealership, doing service work. I was making ends meet, but I wasn't happy. What I saw with it was the ability on two sides. One, to help clients, which I loved doing when I was in mortgages. It was one of the most rewarding things I did was helping people buy their first home. The second part for me was the building side, because I went, wow, I can change people's lives to help them help other people, and not have to go through what I went through with a downturn in the economy, because I saw it. I saw the bigger picture. One thing Paul always says is, if he could just get 20 more of me with the work ethic, I think you're in that same boat, Andy. We both have a really good drive and a work ethic that some people would never understand it unless they lived a day in our life, right? But I also know that I come in and out of focus with it, meaning there's days where I'm just like, could I just talk to somebody that wants to do this, right? Like, kind of like what Brandon was saying, you put in 10 to get 1. If you're not reading the right books, if you don't have the right mentors in your life, that can get very hard very quickly. You can get very frustrated very quickly because you're like, but these 9 people over here, why aren't they doing anything? You just want to choke them. You can't. At least Tim Go tells me I can't. I can go to jail for that. So I guess I can't do that. But I want to. Sorry, I'll revert back to the nice Kelly. But it's hard because you go through that and it's a lot of work. It's not like it's just pushing a button and they sign up. It's you pouring into them. It's them talking to you about their life. It's a lot of back and forth. And for them not to do anything is frustrating, but you have to know the numbers game going into this. So with that mindset is knowing that mindset going forward and understanding it and knowing that that's going to happen, kind of like what we're dealing with these Facebook leads, right? We know we may talk to 10 people and sell 2, and that's okay. That's not what we're used to. This is a new norm. But in my mindset, I'm okay with that because I've learned it in the recruiting side. So I think the more we teach people that it's okay to fail very quickly, and that not every person you put in is going to move in the direction you want them to move. I have a couple people on my team. Caleb Law is one of them. Leticia Clark's another one. It took them probably 6 months to 8 months to get going. And one of the things Paul's always talked to us about, and you guys know this, is love conquers all. And if you just love on them and you're just touching base with them, you're not a manager. So checking in sincerely and saying, hey, how are the kids? How's the family? Not, hey, why haven't you written any business? Hey, we've got this new product and you're losing money. Being sincere with how you're talking to people, because it may not be their season right now. Their season may be 6 months from now. I have a girl on my team right now that is a nurse. She was fired up to do this. Guess what? She's working 24-hour days pretty much right now with COVID. And I just touch base with her. And what I'm doing now is like, hey, how are you doing? Does your family need any food? Do you need any face masks? What do you need? Not, hey, come back into the life insurance side. It's what do you need? It's talking to them as a human and not what have they put in my pocketbook? Because I think so many people make recruiting transactional, and recruiting is not transactional at all. It's relationships and relational and bleh, you know what I'm saying. But reading the right books, reading the book that you gave, Andy, to Albright about Jordan. I grew up in that empire. I grew up in Chicago. I grew up going to those games. I grew up watching him and listening and reading that book brought back so many amazing memories, but then it also brought me to a point where I'm like, I can do that. And like you said, Andy, it's not about beating people. It's your business. And everything you're doing is your success. And we're all going to be here rooting for you, and we all want everybody to win. But if you're saying, oh, well, I can't catch up to Riddle, or I can't catch Brandon Beal, or I'm not as good looking as Brandon, and I don't have basketball background and this and that, then you're never going to start, right? You're never going to succeed. It's you that has to want it. It's your internal insides that want to have that better life, that want to do what Brandon said, a bigger house, bigger things, whatever that is. And if you're not laser focused on that, and if you're not reading the right books and having the right mentors in your life to do what Albright does best, which is bring you, hey, he's telling me, he's like, Diane's going to catch you. Paul's going to catch you. You're still not at Riddle's level. You better get more people. So it's like, ugh, I do the same thing. I'm like, stop it. I don't need you to tell me that. It just makes me madder because I'm like, shoot, okay, I guess I need to work 6 more hours today, So it's definitely a drive. And I love this whole team and company and how we've all come together.
Awesome. This is the book, Relentless, that she was talking about. You freaked me out because I usually have it like within a hand's reach of where I'm at. And I was looking around my desk. I was like, where is it? And it was behind me. So, but yeah, that book was, I think one is I love the sports analogies that he uses in it, but two, it's just that mindset. And one of the things that he even talks about in that book, it's finding the guys on your team that you want to be in the battle with. It's having that work mentality you're talking about. And I love when you're talking about doing your calls that you do on selling and recruiting. It's one of those things that even if when you are loving on them and having them around because of their season that they're in may not be right now, as long as you keep them close and inside of that stuff, they're still learning that team of what you're doing. You know what I mean? And that's a cool thing that you're doing. I think you're going to have crazy results off of it, just having those things and having that relationships and building from that aspects of what you're doing. That's awesome. I love it. Any last words you want to throw out to these people like that are trying to catch you on this jet tour thing? Any motivation you want to give them or anything like that?
Better get to work. They better bring the hours and bring I got what is Fitz say? Better pack your lunch because you're going to need it. I got some stuff coming, so we'll see. We'll see when like I said, it's not over yet, but we'll see. I'll be on that plane with Brandon.
Hey, the last one, shoot, I had it up here. I think you had like a 3 recruit lead over Diane in second. So off of last week. So we will see if she shortens the gap on Wednesday or you expand the gap or if it stays the same. I usually always like on band, they always say so-and-so moving closer to Riddle. And I was like, the math in between those 2 weeks it's getting bigger, I track that stuff. I don't think other people do. So I like seeing the gap.
I do. I'm with you. I do.
Yeah. I mean, I like winning, even if it's a close game, but I really like winning, blowing people out, So I think we're the same in that way, Kelly. So
this is always in my head right here. You can see it behind me. It's constantly, it's having that stuff in your face, not deviating from it, getting up, going to work. And what I will tell you is what we've put in place right now, the changes we're doing, the work ethics that we're changing with people. When this all happens to end, which it will soon, the difference, people are going to be in homes, the way we're recruiting, it's just going to take us to that next level, like Brandon was saying, and blow these other companies. We're already blowing them out of the water, but this is just going to take us to that next level. And we're going to see some brand new people. We're getting people promoted during this time. People are coming on and hiring like crazy. We're going to see some massive, massive promotion statuses happening at Family Reunion and NatCon, and I'm just fired up about it.
Yeah, this is always in my mind too, and that's not a Delta Sky window. That's an Andy Albright jet window.
I love it.
My own jet, not a Delta or American view. So cool, awesome job, Kelly. I appreciate you jumping on. I know you're hard working today. Kat's called on you. I called on you. And now you got to get back to because today's your recruiting day. Yeah,
Today's recruiting.
Hey, awesome. Hey, Brandon, you got a few more minutes, bud?
Always for you, buddy.
Awesome, man. Hey, can you share a little bit more? I don't know. I know we met very early on when you part of this business at a conference. But can you kind of share a little bit kind of what you saw originally that got you excited about this business and kind of some of the tricks that like Ed and Steven work with you to keep you focused, kind of to chase those dreams and get those cars that you want to get and everything?
Yeah. Me and you met, I want to say, dude, I signed my fast track summer 2017, but I was still with World Financial Group and I was trying to make a nice exit, if you will. And then I started with the Alliance in October, November of that same year of 2017. So I think I met you NatCon 2018 is where I met you. But when I saw this the first time, I was in Rancho Cucamonga and I met Jason Atani for the first time. Who I really hold near and dear to my heart. Like those are two of my favorite people, not just in this business, but the entire world, because I say I owe a lot to, Andy, Ed, and Steven, but I owe a lot to them too, because I've stolen so much from them, and Jason and Tony have taken so much time out to talk and chat and help me and Ashley with things that we were going through when we first got started. But I remember Doug Becker was showing the plan. And this is a man who has, I want to, Doug's going to be mad. I think he has 4 daughters. All he's put through, Southern California schools. I think one is Northern California. But he's put them all through school while working the Alliance. And this man was telling us how he worked on the weekends, how he would dial, maybe Thursday and Friday, and he would run his appointments on Saturday and Sunday. And he put 4 kids through Southern California schools doing that on the weekends. I'm like, dude, if this dude can put 4 kids through, Southern Cal schools twice a week, imagine what I can do 5, 6, 7 days a week. You know what I mean? So the first thing I saw was the selling point. But then once we got down to the building, I was hooked after that. I want to say I was obsessed. And, when you're trying to be great at something, you should be obsessed about it to the point where people think you're crazy. I think you're obsessed with recruiting. I'm obsessed with recruiting. I think Andy is obsessed with recruiting as well. So I think I'm on the right track. I have devoted so much time, effort, energy, and money into recruiting that it's ridiculous, man. That's what I saw the first time. It was just like, whoa, I can make money selling, but I could also show someone else how to do it. And then, the insurance companies, nothing's going to come out of Andy Riddle's pocket, but Transamerica is going to pay me an extra, $1,000, $2,000 every time someone, my mind was blown, dude. It was completely blown. So the first thing I started thinking was, well, how many people can you recruit? Oh, there's no maximum. There's no minimum. Oh, I can get as many people as I want. Yeah, do it. Go. Oh, dude, say no more. I'm in. I was at a loss for words like I am right now. That's what all I wanted to do was recruit.
Awesome, man. Well, you're killing it. I got you're currently got a 4 recruit lead on 3rd place. The scary part is you only have a 4 recruit lead on 4th place too. So if those 2 people caught you could fall out really quick. So I know Ashley won't let you do that
no,
because she will kill you. But yeah, it's cool just watching you. And I know Ed and Steven are proud of you and doing what you're doing there and kind of leading their organizations on the recruiting charge and continue going out there and building. And I just love your mentality of not only just the sports mentality that you brought over from that, but the aspects of the investing in the business side of it. Because everything I've heard you say is talking about the business overrides go back into the business, but also where you're just investing more and more in recruiting and building that stuff. Because I think so many times people get caught up with how many people that you recruit or I recruit or Andy recruits that didn't make it. And you look at the profit that when you find 1, 2, you find a Will, Kelly, or a Brandon, how that changes your business and that profit, it throws it out. And the return on investment, so often people always say, what's your return on investment in this? What's your return on investment of this? And people always, businesses would die for a 10% return on investment. Normal businesses, and that's investing $100,000 to get $10,000 a month. That's a 10% ROI. And people are like, well, that seems crazy. That's 10%, what you were just dying for. In this business, I just find you can get 20, 30% return on your investments just so easily. And sometimes the return on investment's so big here, I think people stop short. They'll get one recruit and just have that little bit, or, they make a little bit, even though that return on investment's crazy return on investment, it just stops short of doing that. And when you go out there and you guys recruit like you 3 are and doing the things that you guys are doing continuously for a long period of time, you're going to see your groups continue to grow, your volume continue to grow. And when you start getting that 20, 30, 40% return on your investments off of the energy you're putting in now, because so much of what you guys are doing now, you're going to get paid for this work in 6 months, 7 months, maybe 8 months down the road. And as long as you continue that momentum going and doing it, and it creates the momentum in your business that makes it almost impossible for people that are trying to compete with you to compete with you, just because they didn't put in that work early on and continue doing that over time. You guys, and that's one thing I've loved over the last 6 months, watching you 3 do what you do and continue to do that. And I hope you guys continue to keep investing and pouring into your business and doing what you're doing, because you guys are all on the right track. And I just think it's going to, you guys are going to be three superstars that everyone in the Alliance needs. They need to know you now anyways, but a year from now, everyone's going to know you, and it's going to be crazy in the aspects of what you're doing and the way you guys are growing your businesses and the stuff you do. So I appreciate you guys getting on here today and sharing what you guys are doing. I'm so proud to be part of the team with you guys and being on the same team with you guys, because you guys are all three warriors. So I appreciate it, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Let's kill it. We got my good buddy Stephen Davies showing the plan tonight. So any of you guys that say, hey, I want to start recruiting now, 7 o'clock Eastern, Stephen Davies, one of my favorites, showing the plan of what we actually do in this business. And actually the youngest millionaire the Alliance has ever had will be on there tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you get some people on there. It will help grow your business tremendously. Thank you again, Andy and Jane, and thank you for all three of you guys joining us. Have a good day.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Riddle.